Hi, my name's Alex. I'm here today to give you an overview of Fireco's very new, exciting digital door inspection software, DorTrak. I'm going to be doing a side-by-side commentary as our lead inspector, Chris, carries out an inspection using the app. The first stage of which is to include an RFID sticker on the door. This allows the digital link to be created between your fire door on site, the hardware, our portal, and the reviews that the reports that you'll later come to look at. Your inspector is going to identify doors on a floor plan if one's been provided and digitally map the doors out on that floor location. Really useful feature. He'll move on first of all to have a look at certification, existing test evidence or labels for your fire doors. We've got the ability to embed photos within the software, add comments or anything else that's relevant to that section. We'll also collate important information about your fire door's construction, its fire door rating, and or any other important information that's deemed by the inspector at the time. All important information in building up a picture of your fire door compliance. Next up's the visual assessment. So the inspector's looking for any obvious signs of failure, significant holes around the door or surrounding walls. We'll detail photographs of your door set and include them as part of the visual assessment. Following that, we'll move on to the gap measurements. Now, the gap measurements around your door are vital because they are one of the most likely areas to fail. Tight fitting doors are essential for the performance of your intumescent materials. In the event of a real life fire, those intumescent materials are going to swell and offer protection from the door set against fire and smoke. Most of the reports that I've seen generally just provide one number at the top, one number at the sides, and one number at the bottom. Fireco provide 12 detailed gap measurement reports, 3 at the top, 3 at the sides, 3 at the bottom. Gaps ideally should be in that 2 to 4 millimeter range, and up to 10 millimeters at the bottom of the door, depending on the nature or construction and specification of the door. You can see here that the door's got significantly bigger gaps than the suggested 2 to 4 millimeters, and as such, the door will be marked as a major fail. Now, all of Fireco's door inspections are custom to the client, and in particular, the doors that we're actually checking. So you'll see your inspector has got the ability to configure it so it includes all of the elements that are actually present on your door set. Highlight any bits that need to be inspected. You'll see here that there's no retainer on this door, so no need for Chris to toggle the option on and off. And finally, you'll see Chris toggle the wall surround option, as we will always check the surrounding wall around the door set. So once he's customized the report, he'll move on to the first stage, which is to have a look at the door leaf itself. In this example, the inspector actually spots some damage as part of the door leaf. And as such, anything he spots, he will detail with photographs, viewable, expandable if necessary, and or some comments. Damage to the door leaf is so important to note down, as the door leaf is one of the biggest protective components of the fire door set. And you'll see here that the door does not fully close against the door jamb from an open position. This again would constitute as a major fail. Following the door leaf, we'll have a look at your door frame. Door frame is important because it should ideally be a paired tested unit with your door set. Here the inspector is not happy with the fitting and the installation of the hinges. They have been identified as being in an oversized or overcut mortise, and as such, again, the inspector will detail that and mark that as a minor fail. He's also making note of the condition of the hinges. Although they are of a compliant make and model, they are showing significant signs of wear and tear, and they bear almost all of the weight of the door set, the hinges, so should definitely be replaced if they have been identified to be failing. I think the hinges and the next element here, the door closer, are two of the most important elements. The door closer is probably the most important or integral component of the door set. Acts to keep your door in a kind of protective closed position. Inspector here will be checking to make sure it's of a compliant nature, it's CE marked, has it been installed correctly, is it well maintained, and will it close the door from any position. They'll move on to have a look at the glass or glazing, again looking for good quality installation, and to make sure it has relevant and highlighted certification or labelling. The next section is to look at your intumescent fire and smoke seals. The seals on your door are so important because they are part of the protective component or element of the door itself. The inspector here identifies that the seals are interrupted, they are not complete top to bottom. He also notices that the bottom seal, or drop seal in this case, doesn't fully deploy when the door is closed, again constituting a major failure. We'll move on to have a look at the rest of your highlighted hardware or handles or signage, etc. Signage is really important. Your inspector is going to make a note and photograph the signs that are included as part of your door set. And finally, we'll move on to that wall surround and have a look at the construct around the door. Have you got any obvious cabling or fire stopping issues running through the frame, etc.? There is no point having a really good quality fire door if there are significant issues with the wall surround or fire stopping, etc. It's not going to overcome the benefits of a really good door. And you'll see here that the inspector has decided that this door constitutes a major fail. A major fail is going to require someone with some outside experience, some tickets or some third-party accreditations in fixing, installing, remediating doors, whereas minor fails will be something like an adjustment to a closer or adjustment to a signage that can be done potentially in-house by one of your maintenance teams.